Hey everyone, it's Adam Helfman. Welcome to the podcast. I've got Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement in studio today, and we're going to be talking everything bathroom remodeling. Welcome to the podcast, Brian.
Hey, thanks for having me, Adam. Pleasure.
So, bathrooms. It's always number one or number two against kitchens in the best return on investment, the best remodeling project you can do. Bathrooms are not easy, by the way, because they include almost every trade: heating, cooling, electrical, insulation, drywall, framing, tile, paint, plumber, all that.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of people in a small space.
Correct.
So bathroom renovations are good, but let's talk about when a homeowner calls you and says, I want to do my bathroom. Typically when you get a bathroom request, I think in their mind they already know what they want. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, a lot of them have sought out like Pinterest, or they've watched HGTV. They've walked through box stores and they've like, oh, I love this, or that's so gorgeous. I'd love to be able to have that, So they've got somewhat of an idea of what they want.
So the standard bathroom layout in America,
5x9, 5x8,
three-piece.
Yeah, three-piece. I mean, that's a normal home. I mean, with the mini mansions that were built, in the past 15, 20 years, there's 4-piece, 2 sinks, toilet, and a shower, or a shower tub, a sink, and a toilet.
Tubs, are they becoming obsolete again, or tubs coming back?
Well, traditionally, if you only have one bathroom in the house, it's ludicrous to tear the tub out because it'll be a detriment to the sale. So if you go to sell the house, you don't have a tub, you're only appealing to a certain demographic.
Yeah.
So people with small children, they can't give them a bath. So tearing the tub out and just putting in a shower, it's a detriment. But if you have 2 bathrooms, what people are saying is, hey, I got one tub in the other bathroom, that's fine, but I want this nice, beautiful walk-in shower where it's more expansive and I can do nicer things.
Sure.
I can have a handheld, an overhead, sprayers, all these other nice things.
That's interesting. So let's keep it in the 5x8, 5x9 bath.
Sure.
What are some of the items that can take a project to an extended length? Meaning, typically you can do a bathroom in a week to 10 days?
Yeah, 7 to 10 days we're in and out.
And so permit?
Depending on permits.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you get the permit, you have demo, and then you go all the way through.
Well, that, and we have inspections, right? So you have to have a plumbing inspection or electrical inspection. You have to have a heating and cooling inspection if there's that takes place, which now with the ventilation in the ceiling, that's an HVAC contractor, right? So you've got a multitude of inspections. So, I mean, if there was no permit involved, 10 days is really realistic. But because of permitting, it's going to push it out depending on how fast the inspector gets there.
3 or 4 weeks.
It could
Possibly.
be.
Okay. Well, that's okay. So homeowners meet with you. They design it with you. They love it. The price is great. You get started, and the day you demo, you see mold. You see rotted wood under the toilet area. What does a professional like you do when the homeowner's at work and you're there demoing things? What happens?
So with a traditional contractor, they don't have mold certification. They're not able to treat mold and remediate it. So if they run into it, they got to stop the project. They got to get somebody in there to remediate the mold, right? And take care of it.
Sure.
Us being with our expertise and the level of certifications we have, depending on how bad the mold is, if it's extremely bad, I got to encapsulate that bathroom and close it off. Can't spread mold throughout the house. I got to close the heat ducts off. If it's summertime, we got to close the AC off. We don't want it blowing throughout the house because now we've released it, right?
Okay, so
by tearing it open.
Stop right there. So you find mold, and they're expecting the bathroom to be done in a couple weeks. Now everything's off the table now, because at that point you got to stop everything.
Yes.
And let them know.
We have to have a construction meeting. I have to say, okay, when we tore this open, this is what we found. You have mold behind the wall. I don't know which variant of mold it is. There's 53 or 54 different variants of mold, right? So we can go into it. I can call for a mold test and get it tested to find out if it's Aspergillus,
Sure.
if it's Stachyboca, all those different types of mold. Or, we seal it off, and then we come up with a game plan to remediate that mold and get it out of there.
Okay. But that costs money.
It does.
Now, if a homeowner is insured for that, would that become an insurance claim, or would you tell them maybe, maybe not?
9.5 out of 10 times they do not have mold coverage on their policy.
Okay.
It's excluded. And the reason being is You have an insurance agent that tries to get them insurance at a reduced rate, their cost being cost prohibitive,
Sure.
and they exclude mold. I tell everybody, include mold coverage, up your basement coverage so you have more in case your sump pump backs up or fails. You have that coverage on there. And then also, you know what? Don't take these gigantic deductibles of $2,500 to $5,000 because when you have a major catastrophe, that's $2,500 to $5,000 that has to come out of your pocket before you get a dollar.
So you want to avoid all that.
Yes,
sure.
that's the pitfalls.
There's an extra cost. Obviously, homeowner needs to address that up front, and that also results in a delay in the project.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, because
so
it has
once
to be addressed.
you solve it, though, you get over that hump, you get it done, and you communicate with the homeowner,
right,
and things move on. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you've find rotted joists from a water leak from years and years.
Very common.
And no mold.
Right.
But you have to do some framing.
Correct.
What's your process and how do you handle that with the homeowner?
Again, so we bring them in, we show them, hey, look at the bottom of the joists are all rotted out underneath the tub. We don't have proper support for the tub any longer.
Sure.
We're not going to put a tub in over rotted joists. So we have to handle this right here at the point of attack. It's going to cost me X amount of dollars to go get new material. I got to cut these out. I got to frame everything back in brand new. I got to put it together so it's now structurally sound to be able to put a tub back in.
Okay. So a tip for homeowners, a good contractor, before the job even starts, is going to give you a heads up and tell you, hey, here are some items that could cost extra money that you should be aware of before we get started. Number one, mold. If they find mold, they have to stop everything, remediate it, get rid of it, and make sure the environment is clean. Number two, any rotted wood or lumber where they're going to have to replace or reframe the area to get that done. Is there anything else that might delay the job that might have?
Well, we might open up a wall, find out that the wall's rotted. We have to rebuild the outside of the wall.
Or no insulation.
There's no insulation in it.
Things like that.
We might find that the attic fan is dumped into the attic and it's not vented properly out. So therefore it's blowing warm, moist air up into your attic, which creates biogrowth and mold. So we might have to address those issues as well.
Okay, so what I'm hearing and what he's saying is important. When you hire a contractor, make sure they have this type of experience. And these are part of the questions you need to ask because another contractor may stop the job and say, Mrs. Jones, I gotta go. Can't do anything. You have mold, call a mold guy. I'm gonna be on another project. When you're ready, I'll come back. I mean, I've had that happen where homeowners have called me and said, this guy just left the job.
I have it all the time. I walk in on a projects where guys went in there and tore it out and they got the quote unquote handyman. Nothing wrong with the handyman as long as he's very experienced, right? They'll tear it out and they'll go, this is more than I can handle. I don't know anything about this. I don't know how to frame this. I mean, I can put a tub in and I can do some tile or I can put a fiberglass surround in, but my level of expertise is done.
Exactly. So experience matters. That's the whole point here. Now, let's talk about something that happens quite frequently that homeowners need to be prepared for that they didn't even expect. One of the things I always talk about is the 4 dirty words of home improvement. We might as well go with granite. We might as well upgrade the marble. We might as well do a shower and rainforest or a shower head out of the ceiling. We might as well is code word for more money.
Correct.
So let's use a tile allowance as an example. When a homeowner says, I want to do tile everywhere, how do you price it for them? You give them an allowance?
Yeah, so what happens is most homeowners are budget conscious when they want to do a bathroom, right? So in their mind, the average bathroom is $15,000, right? So our costs usually are $15,000 to $25,000, depending on the size of the bathroom and the components we're installing. So we sit down and we give them a tile budget. 9 out of 10 times, a basic tile for a shower surround, $6 a square foot all day long. That's our budget.
And there's a lot to choose from.
55,000, right? You can go into Floor and Decor, they have 55,000 tiles. You're going to find probably 5,000 of them that fit that budget parameter. But when customers go in, they go, you know what? You gave me 6 and that one's 15.
Well, they walk in, they see a pallet of, let's say they have 300 square feet of tile. And the pallet's 400 square feet of marble, special cut, on sale, typically $30 a foot, on sale for $15 a foot. They have 6 credit. So now they said, oh, we can get that for $9 more, but they need to talk to you because
the labor goes up
Labor,
exponentially.
correct.
Because the tile guy is no longer laying a normal porcelain tile. He's now installing marble, which requires a wet saw versus a regular hand snap, right? Snap and score. So now that goes up exponentially because he's got to have.
So there is more cost.
Well, yeah, you got to have carbide drill bits to drill through the marble because you got faucet holes and things of that nature. You're going to have soap dishes that have to be cut in. The marble's got to be wet saw cut to install those and inset them. So yeah, the labor is going to go up exponentially. Then the other thing most guys forget about is you can't use the exact same thin set for marble as you can for porcelain tile.
So you got
porcelain tile is lighter. Use a different thin set. When you use marble, now you got to use a different one with a flex put into it. It's got to have it's an additive that they put into it so that marble adheres to the wall and holds heavier weight.
So it doesn't fall. That makes sense. Makes perfect sense to me. And don't forget, the job will take longer because there's more work involved in that. Is that correct?
Correct. But at that point, finding a sale like that, that's the time to do it, right? So if you're in there and it's $9 a square foot more, okay, we don't make any money off of it. We say, okay, it's $9 a square foot. 9 times 3,
the difference.
You're looking at, the additional $270. But the labor portion of it is going to be more, and the setting materials are going to be more.
And that becomes a change order.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah. And we let them know up front, now's the time if you're going to do it. And we're going to give you a fair price on it because you're already our client. However, it does cost us more money to produce.
So here's a question you can ask any contractor when you're getting quotes. And it should go something like this. Mr. Contractor, can you give me some examples of items that we haven't planned for here that will end up costing more money in the job scope or the budget goes and gets higher? Those are questions you can ask him. And a good experienced contractor like Brian from Metro Home Improvement will tell you, well, there's this, this, and this that will end up costing you more, and be prepared for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly how we would state it.
Well, there you have it. That's some fantastic information. Brian, thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having us, Adam. I really appreciate it.
If you want a room addition, a kitchen, a bath, a basement remodel, second story addition, a dormer, any combination thereof, you need a contractor like Brian. Visit hireitdone.com. You'll find Metro Home Improvement right there, and you'll get the best project.